Let's get another flight on our little Brushless Eachine mini Cessna. That is an awesome flying little plane, and with the wing extensions I put on it, it has better slow flight capability with absolutely no bad tendencies. So I'm real happy about that. Let's see if we can get it in the air. Now I still have a 50-30 prop on it. Put it in wind mitigation mode here. I still have a 50-30 prop on it. This is still the same flight session as the last video that I published, but I just wanted to get a little more flight time on it now that it has these wing extensions on it. It's turned out to be a really, really good project. It flies extremely well, very, very stable, very good slow flight capability now, better than it had before I put the wing extensions on it. It's another keeper, guys. This is a nice flying little micro, sub 250 gram, brushless bush plane. Isn't that awesome? I checked my battery before I put it in here. I charged it up last night and it was 8.2 volts when I put it in the plane. I have my timer set for 5 minutes. It has pretty good authority, even though these batteries are not can't hold a full charge anymore. It has pretty darn good authority for a little sub 250 gram bush plane. The roll rate is pretty nice. It's got enough power for some decent sized loops. It'll do split S maneuvers. We'll do one here. Do a split S maneuver. No problem at all. Look at that. Pretty aerobatic for a little mini Cessna, I think. That's a pretty cool little plane. I really like the airframe. The airframe is awesome. Not a bad stall turn for a little Cessna. Slow it down a little bit. So yeah, I'd say this project turned out better than I expected it would. Links to all the components will be in the show notes. If you guys have one of these planes, because I think they're out of production now. I think the Eachine Mini Cessna has been discontinued, which is a shame because it did make for a very good little beginner plane. You know, it didn't have a lot of power, but it didn't have any bad tendencies. You know, it was a very easy to fly beginner plane. So it's a shame that it's out of production now. But if you have one, you can certainly do what I did. Look at that, it'll do an Immelman. You can certainly do what I did with a brushless conversion. They're just budget, it's a budget power system. You know, I used a couple of low voltage, I think they're 1.7 gram servos, a RacerStar BR 1306, and I think that's a 3100 kV motor spinning a Gemfan 5x3 prop. I'm going by memory, so I may be wrong on something, but I should have everything listed in the show notes. It does a pretty big loop, guys, with that little motor and that 5x3 prop. Now I'm really happy with it. Big wide loops, split S maneuvers, good roll rate, stall turns, Immelmans. All right, so let's check our traffic and make sure we're good to land. Okay, we look good that direction. So yeah, and with the even though it's considerably heavier than it was stock, those wing extensions and the aileron extensions. There we go. The wing extensions and the aileron extensions really gave it some good slow flight capability, much better than it had before I did that, and it certainly allowed me to have a very good roll rate on it for doing those aerobatics. So I'm very happy with the way the project turned out. I think on my last flight I said I was going to put in some more elevator. Well, I took a look at the linkage and I took a look at my dual rate, and I've got the maximum amount of elevator that I'm going to get on it. The elevator is not real big, you know, and with this 1.7 gram servos, it doesn't have a lot of movement, but it's enough. I just got to make sure I've got a little more altitude before doing aerobatics than not. You know, I've come close to running out of elevator coming out of a split S maneuver in the last video. So I can't do that. The only way I could get more elevator is if I was going to extend the elevator, and I really don't think it's necessary, you know, for this little bush plane. And I still have the 50-30 prop on it. Next time, in the next flight session, when I bring it out, I'll come out with a 50-40 prop just to see if that provides some additional performance. I'll have to go back and look at my thrust numbers for that motor and a 50-40 prop to see, make sure that it's not going to pull too many amps first with the ESC that I have in it. And if I've got the capacity on the ESC, I'll definitely be putting a 50-40 prop on it just to test it out. Because the last flight that I published, I had my timer set for 5 minutes. I had it in the air for 5 minutes and 28 seconds. The battery that I put in only had 8.2 volts in it when I put it in there, just like the one I had during this flight. They won't hold a full charge. And I still had over 3.7 volts per cell when I landed after 5 minutes and 28 seconds. So if I had brand spanking new LiPos that could hold a full charge, I would say flying it the way I'm flying it, I could get a good 7 minutes of flight time out of it, leaving 3.6 volts per cell. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the air.